My name is Olivia Moon, and I am an Activate resident for 2025 at the Boston Center for the Arts. I love performing pole, doing more experimental works, solo works for myself. It wasn't until college when I went to Boston University, they brought in a pole sampler course, and I said, okay, I've always wanted to try pole dance, and I hopped in. I loved it, took some classes, and fell in love. This past year/2 has been me really trying to focus on creation, because I do love creation and I like creating for myself. And so this Activate residency is really my first opportunity to be able to create on other people and in the way that I want to, which is leaning into exploring these like genderless sort of flows, experimental, with like literally no pressure to have a final product, and to also be collaborating with other people. I'm working with Jaina, a set designer, filmmaker, photographer, literally everything person. I'm working with 3 dancers, Aggie, Allie, and Rajta. I'm also working with these sound artists, Angela, who's bringing together a group of vocalists, and they're going to play with some experimental sound, keeping it within the realm of ethereal, experimental, sort of ambient noise. I am also working with Andrea, who is doing the light design, and then Kat Waterman, who's behind this camera. When I first started brainstorming about this week and how I wanted the cyclorama to look, I was always thinking about trees and nature. Through conversations with Jaina and with Kat, the discussion of duality came in, and talking about smallness within largeness and largeness within smallness. Nature was always there, and water and fire, and in the way that I move and I like to flow on the pole feels super watery and airy. And so I want to bring that quality into the movement. And as we've talked about set, it's sort of evolved into, this was an idea even this week that came into it, but having these cloud-like structures hanging from the grid above, we always knew we wanted some sculptural element hanging. So we're planning on having clouds hanging above the poles, or cloud-like structures with lights shining through to almost create this like underwater effect, and then having roots sort of coming off of the poles made of fabric and such. We're working with a lot of paper and a lot of fabric. We're stringing the paper through and on these electrical conduit pipes, and creating, layering pieces of paper on top of each other to create this cloud-like structure. For the base of the pole platform, we're going to be kind of collaging different pieces of fabric together to disguise the base of the pole. We're thinking about roots and how they can extend from the pole and even further off into space on the floor, so that we're trying to take up most of the room. I don't think I want it to feel so ethereal that you don't know where you are, but that everything is sort of vague enough where you can make your own interpretation of the space and how you feel when you're watching and hearing this installation happen. I've always envisioned audience and dancers to be on the same plane. I feel like it creates a non-hierarchical relationship. I sort of want the audience to be able to choose their own journey, and I want it to feel almost like you're walking into like a gallery, and these dancers are live sculptures accompanied by, the structures in the sky and also on the floor. feel really grateful to be in this space this week. I've been wanting to create in the cyclorama for as long as I've been here, and I hope that this is just a jumping off point for bigger things.